Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time.
And SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah, meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening!
Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh.
And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned. My friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
And here we are. You're not seeing double. We're live yet again on the Dorkening Podcast Network. And tonight we're dorking out with...
What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Yo's here.
Hey, everybody. So, first thing I want to do, we keep saying that there's going to be nudity, but we don't have any nudity. What's going on with that one?
You didn't get the memo, Yo. You're doing a little... show after.
Find the pickle.
Okay. I figured we're just going to be like in the blues, and eventually I'm just going to show my butt on it or something. But
I think if you show it on NBC, I think you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the default because this is on YouTube, and YouTube changed all their rules. So since we talk about like comics and dorky stuff, they consider that children's content, so we need to say this is not children's content, this is adult
and then
content. Tease
people with the prospect of nudity that they'll never get.
Yeah,
Tease understand this.
So a lot going on this week. Sad week.
Oh god, this week reminding us why 2020 can suck a big dick and eat a big whole bag of them.
Yeah. I'm gonna mess up his last name. Chadwick Boseman was struck down way too young. He was I believe 43 years old. And cancer, I believe, right?
Yeah, stage 4 colon cancer, which he hid from everybody except his close immediate family.
Yep. There was a video of him with kids in a cancer ward, and he was
several videos because he'd been doing that for years.
Yeah, but doing that while he's doing the fight himself, just crazy. And
chances are those kids knew.
What's that? You?
If you're gonna confide in anybody, just to let them know that you understand what they're going through. Those kids probably know.
Yeah, totally. And this brings up the conversation. Should he be replaced on for Black Panther or not? There's talk of what's going to happen with the MCU. Hey, Robert, how's it going?
Yeah. I mean, he was such a great actor. Actually, I don't know if you've seen anything else that he was in. 42. 21 Bridges. I heard he was really, really good in, as well as
he's also in Defy Bloods or
Yep.
That's a Netflix one, right?
Is that the one he played James Brown? Because I think whatever one he played. There's another movie.
Get on.
Oh, was that one?
James Brown one.
And again, he was.
Brown one, yeah, so.
And he was heralded as like awesome as James Brown, awesome as Jackie Robinson, awesome as T'Challa. But you got to think about this man's commitment as well. He shot 8 movies in the time that he had stage 4 cancer or something like that, including 4 Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So I just in the kind of you see the outpouring and the support from Marvel itself, all the DC, the MCU, all the actors across Hollywood, across spectrums, across everywhere, including like I thought it was very interesting that DC made a post too, and I'm like, that's really classy. That's a class act of them. It's a class act of all these people. It's going to be very tough because I remember, when he came on the scene in Civil War, no one, I didn't really know about him until I found out, he played Jackie Robinson in 42. Like that was, then I went back and watched and I was like, oh, he was fantastic in that. No shocker. But you just see the outpouring from just everybody. It just shows how special of a person he was. None of us knew him personally. We never knew, but you saw what he did. You saw up until, his last day, he was doing everything he could for people and, trying to get people meals and stuff that was dealing with the COVID virus and his charities and all this stuff. And, anytime he's attached to a project, he would funnel his energy into there as much as possible. So, I mean, I remember I was on Twitter after watching a movie on Friday night and I was like, nah, this isn't real. It's his Twitter account. It's a nice picture. Maybe it's a little note saying what's going on and his thoughts. But then I kept reading more. I saw more Long Live the King, all this stuff. And I'm like, what happened? And then I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely.
So
it's one of those fake things when I first heard. No.
So
yeah, definitely crazy news. And then you get the trolls and stuff like that online, which happens with everything. But what do you think?
Part of the internet you've been hanging around, I've either probably because I've been trying to just avoid things like that, just avoid people.
People trying to make it a race thing, whether he should be replaced or not, or but if you're that character in itself, it is whoever possesses a ring is, according to the comics, is the Black Panther, and then you have the eat the flower and become super strong. And who do you think should be the next Black Panther?
I think it should be Shuri. Should be his sister. I think in the comics she becomes the Black Panther at one point or another, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I also got to tell it's too early to be.
Oh yeah, I don't. I think they're supposed to come out in 2023. I think Black Panther 2. I would not. I would not be surprised if there is a little bit of delay. I think Marvel is smart enough to be like, hey, we're going to put this on the back burner and maybe move up another movie that they were going to handle. I mean, it might change their plans a little bit, but you can still incorporate Wakanda in a way, in the storyline. Because I know, the rumor circulating was that's how you're going to introduce Namor was through Black Panther.
Yeah.
You can still technically do that. You've already planted the seed with Endgame. So you can still have some sort of connection with Wakanda. it's going to be those are unbelievably big shoes to fill. It's one of those things where we always talk about MCU, Marvel gets their casting. It's casting done right. And I don't want this character to go away. I think what it does for society, and I think what it does for just great storytelling is, especially how Ryan Coogler handled that film and how good it was and how, poignant it was, and, what they did with it and push storytelling like that forward. I don't want it to go away. I've always said, I'm always about, I've always been about good storytelling and telling a great story, and I know Marvel has it in them to do it right and do it classy and not just, try to shove it down our throat. They're going to do something fantastic whenever that next opportunity comes. So, hopefully, the time that they're going to be given to come up with a story is going to be enough time to make the story resonate just as hard and such as strong as the first one. So.
Well, and that was a great thing about the first one. It was a movie that really, it was in the Marvel universe, but for it to stand on its own like that, it is really, I think, one of the first movies in the Marvel universe to really do that. It's a movie that you could literally pluck out of the MCU and be a phenomenal movie all on its own.
Towards the end of the last couple phases, they started doing that more and more. And Black Panther was one. I remember Jen saying it to me when we saw it, was like you said, you could just put Black Panther out there as a standalone movie and it'd be equally as heralded as part of this 22 movie saga. This is a standalone movie and you could stand on its own feet without having Captain America in it or Iron Man in it or Thor in it. It was literally just Black Panther. That's all it was. There wasn't any other till the end credit scenes when you got Bucky, but they gave you just enough in Civil War to kind of give you the base knowledge of what you're looking at. And then they just went in a completely great direction with it. And then you read about how, Chadwick would, helped out with the look with Ryan Coogler and helped, make sure that this line of this vision extended through all these movies with different directors. I know the Russo brothers was involved in 2 of the 3 of the 4 movies that, he was in. But, making sure that, how Wakanda was set up was the same way it was set up in every movie, where everything was in relationship to everything was still there. And this is a character that he put his energy into and everything else with it. So I think it's an unbelievably huge loss to Marvel, to everything. And, I hope, I really hope that Marvel does it the best way. Like I said, I don't want this character to go away. I don't want this world to go away. It's such an awesome world to see on the screen. So,
what are your thoughts, Yo?
I bring it back to representation, like we've talked about before, with the Little Mermaid thing, where especially and just Hollywood in general, it's hard to find a positive representation of Black people and Black communities. And then you have this movie that does this in a fantastical way, because we're talking about like some made up village, made up place in Africa where all these amazing things are being built, all these amazing people are, everybody seems to be represented in a equal way. From your how strong the Black women were in the movie, that was part of the thing that resonated with a lot of people. Finally, we see ourselves as that hero. And that's something he did multiple times. He's done it with Thurgood Marshall, he did it with Jackie Robinson. He brought that to cinema. So that's a huge loss for.
I think a lot of people are going to go back and, catch up on the movies that he's done that they haven't missed. I know I'm going to do the same myself because I still need to see the Jackie Robinson movie.
I I remember watching the Jackie Robinson movie, and it's actually Alan Tudyk said that was one of the hardest roles he ever had to play was in 42. And I know Yo, have you seen 42 at all or no?
Yeah.
So Yo knows the scene I'm talking about, which he plays the Philadelphia's manager, and he literally drops the N-word 50 times towards him within a short period of time. And it makes the scene very uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable, and I kind of was sitting like, this was, how many years ago, back in the 40s and 50s, and that was just like commonplace language, and I kind of was just like, wow, like stuff like that, and it's just like it's crazy, and it's very, and I'm glad they made it uncomfortable because it needs to be uncomfortable, and the way it's represented in like the whole thing with Harrison Ford in it, where he's like, I don't want you to get mad, I want you just to. He literally was like, you're going to get yelled at, you just can't respond to it. And I think it was very in how Chadwick took that character and was like, and made it his own and built that up and give you a great visual representation of what Jackie Robinson had to go through was just, it's fantastic. So it's definitely worth a watch. Get Up, like you said, is another great one with him as James Brown. That got unbelievable reviews. I haven't seen the Thurgood Marshall one. I definitely want to see that one. And it's sad. And it's true. In maybe this is a little bit of mainstream media. Is like some of the movies that people are talking about. I'm like, I wasn't even on my radar because no one talked about them or they weren't really mentioned. And it's sad that after his passing, these movies get a second life.
So looking at his discography or filmography, I didn't know he was in Fringe. Fringe was an awesome show. Yeah, what? Fringe was.
Just keep going.
Okay. This is actually, he's done a ton of movies so far. 42, starting with 42, Draft Day, Get On Up, 9 Kisses is a short, Gods of Egypt, obviously Captain America Civil War, Message from the King, Marshall, then Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, 21 Bridges, The Five Bloods, and then what's left to come out is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and he is listed as being in Yasuki. And Tom Morse Jr. says AMC Theaters is going to show 42.
Good.
Yeah. And
that's awesome.
And Chris is right. I mean, it's definitely too early to have a discussion on replacing him or whatnot in the MCU. It's a discussion that is happening, which is crazy. But I think now is a good time to reflect on his short career. But it was, what's the saying? The brightest stars shine the shortest, or something like that.
The brightest stars burn out the fastest.
Yeah. There's definitely several that I need to get caught up on, and I will. And I think it's you're talking about the 42. I think it's excellent that entertainment is giving us the history lesson that a lot of us were not given, going through school, kind of like HBO, with their recent hits, learning about some of the terrible atrocities that happened, and bringing it to light, in a nation that's gone crazy, so it's definitely interesting times.
I know, I'm thinking of the star thing, and it just had a different technology in my mind.
What were you
trying to piece it together? Well, thinking about it, stars are, from what you see, those things are probably already gone. They're no longer existing, and you're just seeing the residual lights. I mean, by the time that you finally notice it, that they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some poetic, something in there. I thought a week.
Well, we urge you to definitely go back and check out. I definitely wanted to see 21 Bridges. So I'll give that a try. And I'm pretty sure Defy Bloods I think that's on Netflix.
It is. That's a Spike Lee movie.
Yeah. Oh, Spike Lee.
Yeah.
You're fantastic.
I mean, we don't want to keep the whole show a downer, but definitely urge everybody to check out his filmography, and definitely do a rewatch of Black Panther. And
also, again, cancer, fuck cancer, all that shit.
Yeah.
That, he was 43 years old, go get your pooper checked out if needed. Like, colon cancer is a terrible cancer to have. It's one of the higher ones for men. So for all our male listeners out there, check, just like breast cancer, you got to see what the warning signs are and see, when you're supposed to get checked out and stuff like that. Like I said, he was 43, and he was stage 4 for a while. So definitely, be mindful of that. If your family is susceptible to it, or you're genetically, I'm trying to think of the word. So, whatever, inclined to get it. Yeah. Go get checked. So, that check can definitely save your life if needed. So.
Well said, James, as the motorcycle screams by.
Go get his pooper checked.
Go get the poop. He's going to get his pooper checked.
I know he's rushing.
A couple fingers up the butt.
Oh yeah. So Haunting of Bly House or Bly Manor.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that this is there's been multiple tellings of this. This is from book, The Turning of the Screw, from the 1800s, I believe.
So this story, The Haunting of Bly Manor, is considered one of the first haunted house stories. It's one of the more famous ones. A lot of people say it's, The Haunting of Hill House, which you've already had by, Mike Flanagan, to Haunting of Bly Manor. A lot of people were thinking that this one was going to be the next one that they were going to do. It was very much, they announced it, last year, that was what the new, the episodic series was going to be. And Mike Flanagan was doing it again right after he finished Dr. Sleep and before he starts his next Stephen King movie. It looks good. I've been very, I like how Netflix waits to like the last possible moment to give you like anything. It always feels like they drop a trailer and then like 2 weeks later the movie comes out, which I'm all for. I like they did that with Enola Holmes, which looks really good, and this looks just fantastic. It definitely has.
Wait, did Enola Holmes come out yet?
No, it comes at the end of the month.
Okay.
But like this definitely is upping the creep factor. I'm a fan of it. I'm excited about it. I was a fan of Hill House. I haven't rewatched Hill House since I first did the watch through. I definitely might want to go back and rewatch it beforehand. But it really looks like, it's just another ghost story in a haunted house. And I'm really excited to see exactly what they're going to do with it. And, if it's going to be the same thing we saw from Hill House, or it's going to be something completely new, like I know Hill House had like the hidden ghosts, like you see all the ghosts like in the background, you have to look for them. I'm curious to see if that's still something that you're going to see, in this one or I don't know the story at all. Like I just don't know it. And so, The Haunting of Hill House, I knew the story. I read the book. There's been 2 movies of it. The Haunting with Vincent Price and then The Haunting with Liam Neeson back in the 90s, early 2000s. So, I'm excited. It's definitely coming out at the right time. It's coming out for for Halloween, which is the perfect setting for it, especially this year where we're all going to be locked in our houses anyway. Why not have a good haunted house ghost story to watch? So like I said, I do wish it was very much like episodic, like every week a new episode comes out to kind of build the story. But Netflix, oh, there you go. They're all the episodes. So
The Turn of the Screw is an 1898 horror novella, classified as both gothic fiction and a ghost story. And Kevin mentioned last night, I think it was, let me find the films. I think he said there was a film that came out like 1920 something that was super scary.
There's been a few like movies from. I gotta love public domain shit.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so the critically acclaimed The Innocents in 1961, directed by Jack Clayton. The Nightcomers in 1972. Other film adaptations, Rusty Lemonades, 1992. So that's in Spanish. Presence of the Mind. In a Dark Place was 2006. That was the last one. No, that wasn't the last one. The Turning is the most recent one. Came out this year. So, yeah, definitely. I think it's The Innocents from 1961, the one that you said to check out. It was a lot scarier than the one that came out this year.
I mean, BBC's done the telling of it.
Yeah, I mean, what I was shocked is it's the same. Most of the same actors are returning. It's the same director and producer, correct? Up, you're muted, James.
Twitter.
A lot of the characters, it's very much like American Horror Story. The same characters, just playing different roles.
Yep. Very cool. Yeah, and that comes out October 6th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I'm excited. Like I said, it is getting towards Halloween. It's starting to get a little spooky out. You know, definitely we had a little fall blast this past week. Yeah. So it definitely
pumpkin season started, so that we got that going for us.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm excited for, again, good storytelling, new stories I haven't heard, seen, done any of that stuff. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, it's definitely on my must watch for October.
Yeah, and I still need to rewatch The Haunting of Hill House because I never went back and watched for the hidden ghosts in the background.
Oh, it's creepy once you start rewatching it and you see the ghost in the background. It's really creepy.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, it actually takes place in Western Massachusetts. Just FYI.
Everything takes place in friggin' Massachusetts. Even the new what the hell is it?
Lovecraft Country?
Yeah, Lovecraft Country.
That's by Yo-Yo. It's right outside of Worcester County.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you started watching it, Yo-Yo?
No. My life has become way too busy for certain things. Although I think I actually have a Friday off, so I gotta start catching up on some
What?
things.
You have a day off, Yo-Yo?
No. It's weird, right? Super weird.
The opening scene is, oh my god, it's so fucking awesome. It's the main character, he's in war, and I think it's World War II or something like that. He's in the trenches. He's shooting his gun, and he goes out into the field, and all of a sudden you see UFOs and monsters, and then all of a sudden Cthulhu pops up, and then Jackie Robinson destroys Cthulhu with a baseball bat. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Sergio, we've moved past Black Panther. We talked about it a little bit earlier, so hit rewind and you'll find it. But Lovecraft Country, yeah, is amazing show. Another awesome.
So much watch.
Yeah, totally. HBO has really been putting it out. I mean, Watchmen was amazing as well.
But HBO has really been good with the limited series. I mean, Chernobyl was fantastic. Watchmen was fantastic.
Have you seen Class Action Park yet?
No, I haven't. I have.
No.
Dude,
it's on the list.
Oh,
it's I'm trying to get through Lucifer, so that's what I'm trying to finish watching.
Class Action Park is was it a series or a one shot?
I don't know, but I know it's it's based on Action Park down in New Jersey. So
yeah, holy shit! It's
only New Jersey.
Oh my god! So for those of you watching or listening, the park is a real park, and this happened from 1980 until 1996. And one of the first rides that they put in, they decided, hey, let's take a water slide, and at the end of it, do a full loop-de-loop. And in order to so they started testing it with dummies first. and the dummies were coming out decapitated. And
You're like, yeah, that's probably okay.
yeah, so they kept on adjusting the loop to loop until the dummies started coming out whole, and they had to raise it. So it's a huge way down in order to get to the loop to loop because you had to build up speed, and if you weren't going fast enough, you get stuck. And when they first opened it up, people were coming out all confused and everything, and I don't know if they said if they were losing consciousness. So they had somebody come down and test it. And they said the engineer that tested it, he said, on Earth, there's only two places that you could hit 9Gs. One is in a fighter jet, and then the other is in that loop-to-loop. And then people started coming out all cut up, like chopped up. And they're trying to figure out what it is. So they do some investigating. And apparently there was a foam when they went through the loop-to-loop that kids were actually getting their teeth yanked out, and there were teeth embedded into the foam. And as people slid down and hit the loop-to-loop, they were cutting themselves on the teeth. And they had to make a evacuation hole on top of it. So if you didn't make it all the way through, they'd have to open up the top of it and extract you.
Seems like a lot of effort to go through.
Oh my God. The guy that ran it, and the whole thing, like multiple. Oh yeah, totally.
It's in New Jersey, so it makes sense that it was Satan running it.
Yeah, and so the reason why so every time he was sued, he'd go to court, full court press, and he did that to make the people suing him run out of money, or do a huge cost. And then I guess he had some judges on payroll, and if he did lose, a lot of times he wouldn't pay the settlement. So a lot of time, this one guy they interviewed was saying that it was a common occurrence for the FBI to raid the park to get money for the victims. So they just come, raid the park, get some money, to start paying off some of the victims. Just absolutely insane. But yeah, they said, matter of fact, the town ambulance had to shut them off because they were exhausting all the resources from the town fire department. They said, we're not going to service your park anymore. You have to get your own ambulances for the park.
I mean, I don't have to watch the show right now. Leo's just telling us everything.
Oh, there's so much more. Oh my God. They start going through all the rides. There's, they built two different parks on either side of the highway. And
was there between the two?
What's that?
I was right about to say that. Was there like a
No, but they decided to do, you had one side was a water park, the other side was a motor park. And he decided
so there was a jump between the two.
Just about. But he decided, hey, what goes great with automobiles? A brew fest. So he put this huge brew fest right next to the and they said it was a common occurrence for the motor park. They said if you knew what you were doing, you could disable the speed limit on it, and you can get them to go up to 60 miles per hour. And they said people were taking them like on the highway, and yeah, it was crazy. James, you're muted.
I'm just laughing. That's all I can do is just laugh.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Class Action Park. It's definitely worth a watch.
And at the end it goes, but this was New Jersey University. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, we gotta do better.
Yeah. But it's cool. They have some celebrities talk about, that grew up in the Jersey area, and they interview a lot of people that, just tell these horrific stories about it. Yeah. Yo-Yo, you watching anything?
At the moment, no. I just watched Trolls before. That was interesting. It's nice to see, like, the whole. It's weird. Well, it's not nice. Well, it's nice and also weird that with kids movie talk about like how history is written by the winners and like the revisionists, like the people who create their own history and to make themselves seem like the winner and the people, and they're really not. That was a weird theme to have in a
For a kids movie, yeah.
Which kid movie was?
Trolls World Tour. Did not expect a theme like that in a kids movie.
And would you watch that on?
A TV? I honestly couldn't tell you. Nina put that on, and I don't know. Every time she puts something on, I end up getting enthralled in it. She has good choices, makes good choices when it comes to movies. So.
Yeah, nice. James has his little one he's taking care of, so he had to go. Yeah. I started watching the Power of Grayskull documentary on Netflix.
How is that bad?
It's good. I still need to go back and finish High Score, though. Did you watch High Score?
No, I have not finished that. I was actually watching Cobra Kai earlier today.
Oh, yeah, I started watching that as well, too.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Again, Nina. she knows how to pick them. She's like, this is good. You're going to watch it. And I'm like, okay. And it's always good. It's weird. I hate it.
So I find it funny.
I secretly love it.
I find it funny that this show has been living on YouTube for 2 years now. They did 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And then
I watched a little bit of it on YouTube, and I never finished watching it. I was on Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, everybody said that show was awesome, and it was sad that it was on YouTube and no one stepped up to the plate to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Netflix did, and it's a hit now.
Oh, it's 100% a hit. It's definitely on my watch list, but I was never a big Karate Kid fan to begin with, so it's a little bit more I'll get around to it when I get around to it.
Yeah.
No, definitely worth it.
So another big thing this week, we got to see Bill and Ted 3.
You got to see Bill and Ted 3. I have not had the joy of watching it yet because
you haven't watched it yet.
Time, today I had time. We're doing other things. So
it will be
it's going to be on the thing on Fridays.
We'll do it spoiler free, even though I called it 4 months ago.
You did?
Yes, I did.
What did you call, James?
It's spoiler free. I can.
Well, okay. I think I remember what you're talking about. And it was a little bit.
And I agreed with you. So it's good to know that, going Team James was a good idea.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I know me and Jen watched it on Friday night. It did take a little while for its legs to get underneath it, but I did like how, and I saw a good tweet the other day, and it was the actress who plays his Bill's daughter, or Ted's daughter. Keanu Reeves is Bill, right?
Yes.
Okay. Bill's daughter is better at Bill than Keanu Reeves, but it was Keanu Reeves also in his middle age, and he's not really the Bill from the other 2 movies, so he's not going to act as airheady or as, that he did in the other ones. And I actually didn't mind that, especially towards when he's like, what are we doing? It kind of gets to a point where they're like, what are we doing? And he's the one who comes to that realization. And I thought that was really interesting. And just kind of how it went from there, and how Alex Winter's character was just very much trying to hold on to it and just knows the destiny and stuff. So I thought it was good. I thought it was really funny. I enjoyed the comedy of it. I think it was very good to see. It definitely is a nice ending to it, even though Bogus Journey definitely was a better, in my opinion, a better ending, because this movie just kind of ends without really much resolution. So it was nice to see the phone booth again. The nod to George Carlin was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Were we just calling Keanu Reeves Bill, by the way?
We got it back.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
wrong. Just forgot to point that out. He says Mr. Theodore Logan.
So it looks like at the theater, opening weekend, it grossed 107 million at the theater. I'm
I
trying
don't
to.
think that's right
Yeah,
because
I can do it.
New Mutant made 7 million over the weekend and it won the box office.
What's that?
New
I couldn't go
Mutant
to the
got
theater.
7 million and it won the box office. So
New Mutants one?
It came out.
Oh, 1.7 million. All right. I'm trying.
and it was in a very limited release too. It was only like in 1,000 theaters or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was wise of them to also release it digitally. Because I'm more likely to see it that way than to venture out to a theater.
Yeah, totally. I think the VOD option for this is definitely the smartest way to go, at least for now. And they need to do that with New Mutants. I mean, I don't know why they're just trying to kill that movie so bad.
Yeah, it looks like it made $1,117 per theater for the movies being out there. So
yeah, it said Bill and Ted Face the Music made just over 1 million, showing in 1,000 theaters.
which is I mean, that's really good. If you look at New Mutants, which was in 2000. Yeah, exactly. And especially, three markets were literally shut down, which was New York City, in Los Angeles and San Francisco were three very large movie markets that the theaters aren't open yet.
Yeah.
And again, they also released it digitally. So even if they're theoretically, like, they didn't get much from the box office, the fact that they had that digital release is definitely going to help them. So that I'm not worried about this making money up.
I'm glad it still came out this year. It just felt like one of those movies once the pandemic hit that they were just going to kind of kick it to the like if I felt like if it got kicked out to next year, it was just going to get lost in the wash. Like this came out, it came out with New Mutants, but it still kind of I saw more. I felt like I saw more advertisement for Bill and Ted than I did for New Mutants.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
the New Mutants, it got to the point where we didn't know if it was like actually you yourself I don't think it's gonna come out.
Oh yeah, no,
I had hope, but I mean, given the fact that they kept saying it was gonna come out the last several years now.
And Tenet came out, but not in the U.S. And there's stories online that people were actually taking flights to another country to see Tenet. I think that's crazy.
I think that was like one or two people, and it just turned into peoples.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan t-shirts on, and
yeah, I mean, I liked Inception. I liked the Batman trilogy. I liked Interstellar. I saw Memento. I went to school for film. I saw Memento. Yeah. I'm just not a huge I don't go out of his way to see his stuff. Tenet looks very interesting, and I might rent it. But at the same time, I'm not going out of my way to see it. Especially
nothing that has been released is worth risking my health over. That's
exactly.
Nothing. Jesus himself can release a movie. I'm so it's a bit Jesus.
Well, what was it? Did you see the Tom Cruise put a video of him going to see the movie in England? It was the most dangerous stunt I've ever done outside of Mission Impossible was to go see a movie in the theaters. It was crazy. I was like, wow.
When he's posting that he has COVID.
But like I said, I mean, I understand why the theaters are open. I get it. I'm not going to be I get why.
Business has got a business.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm just, for me, it's going to boil down to this year, there's not a ton of big movies coming out anymore. I know you have Wonder Woman coming out in October, but again, that's something, yeah, I want to see on the big screen. I want to see in theaters, but is it worth risking my life and the health of my family and friends? No, I'm okay with that. I can wait for it to come on, VOD or renting it. And getting, seeing it that way. It's just, somebody asked me on when I put up that I was watching Bill and Ted on, with me doing a date night, movie night. It's Bill and Ted, and one of our friends was like, "Oh, were you watching the movie?" I'm like, "My living room couch." Like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm not going to a movie. And I know people who went to the movies at AMC the day they opened in Massachusetts, and I'm like, "You're crazy. You're out of your mind." Like, I don't care how much stuff you put in there. The most time I'm inside something that's not my house, my car, or like a grocery store is when me and Jen go and walk the mall just to kind of get out of the house, and we walk, across Gits Mall. We literally go into like 4 shops. We go into like Think Geek, we go into like the Lego store, and we go into like Hot Topic or like the Disney store.
Wait, back it up. Think Geek has a store?
Oh yeah.
I thought they closed down.
No, GameStop bought them. Hello.
Hello.
Which I found out that so I was talking to Jen one day, and so the store Box Lunch is owned by Hot Topic because Hot Topic lost the bid on Think Geek to GameStop, so they just opened up their own store.
Oh wow.
I didn't realize that until I started looking at the emails I was getting from both Hot Topic and Box Lunch, and they're literally like the same emails, especially when they were saying like when they're going to reopen and stuff like that. They were literally like the same emails, and I was like, let me do a quick like YouTube, like Google search, and I was like, oh, they're owned by the same company.
Someone's copying each
other. They get Funko exclusives too, right?
Yeah. So I have 3 places where I can get a Funko exclusive within 15 minutes of me. Good. I'm not surprised. You have a problem. Are you excited for October 30th?
What's that? Oh yeah, Mandalorian. Hell yeah.
I'm excited. Like, I finally finished watching it like 2 weeks ago.
That's sad.
What else was I going to do, Leo?
I mean,
it's not like a new Star Wars movie came out between the time that movie, the show started. Oh wait, there was a movie that came out. Excuse me. I mean, I didn't miss anything. Like, it's not like a new season came out in the spring.
Yeah.
But I liked more watching the
it's okay to savor things, okay?
Exactly, Leo. Exactly. Getting off Reddit, reading spoilers, and binging shows does not make anybody happy.
Okay. What about the 4K holiday special?
Is it the holidays yet? No. I will watch Life Day when it's closer to Life Day.
Have you even taken a peek yet?
I've watched it before. I was in college. I've watched those.
No, this is the one that's recently available to you.
The one that was just uploaded the other day that has Boba Hotep. I can't even say that.
Bubba Hotep.
Yeah.
So the 4K project was originally 14 gig. I got it down to 1.6. I knocked it out of 4K. It's now HD 1080p.
I've started watching Clerks the animated series, so.
Oh yeah, nice.
Because I'm going to movies in New Jersey. Me and Jen are going in a couple weeks. So.
Oh, very cool.
So, if I pay you, can you express ship me something?
Yeah, just tell me what you need. Yeah.
I thought they're shipping movies meals.
They are, but they're also they announced a pop up for 1 week in New Jersey. So I asked Jen, I was like, "You want to go on an adventure?"
Have you been to the Promised
Here's the thing with them, because you can order it, but I think it's like a family thing. And,
yeah.
You get a it's expensive. Like it's costing me $45 for a soda, onion rings, a burger, and tots. So it is
I mean,
expensive,
even
but it's
more.
more like. But again, we're going down there, and it's going to be set up like the restaurant in the movies.
Yeah.
I got a cow tipper.
Nice.
And I got some hater tots. Jen got onion rings to rule them all. And then I got like a soda because it comes in the cup you can keep and stuff. So
very cool.
And they're gonna have a bunch of like merch there and all that stuff. And it's only open for a week. And it's one of those things. It's one of those like it's gonna be a cool experience to do. Yeah, we're driving a little bit to go check it out, but like, what else are we gonna do?
You know, I don't know if you heard me. Have you been there before?
Where?
To Red Bank.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been to Secret Stash.
Okay, yeah, it's easy to get to. It's not that far away.
No, it's not. I'm not like worried. I'm like, I'm not worried about it at all. Like I said, we're going like a Tuesday morning. Jen has the day off. I'm taking the day off.
Yeah, it's gonna. What's it like? An hour for you? 2 hours? Yeah.
It's a straight shot, and the majority of the drive is like it's like an hour and a half to get to the New Jersey border, and then it's like another hour, and then once we get into New Jersey, it takes us about 2.5, almost 3 hours to get to Jen's friend who lives south of the city of New Jersey, and my other friend Ryan, who lives kind of in northwest part of New Jersey. So
okay, yeah, I think I'm about 2.5 hours away.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, like I said, they sold out of the first 4 days within like 3 hours, and then they have the last days. They have openings from like 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. But what they did is a restaurant was like, we'll be movies for a week and change our name for a week, and that's why it's only for 1 week. Even though the Los Angeles pop-up one was like a couple weeks because they were just in a vacant storefront and they could just stay open as long as they wanted.
Very cool. And
yeah, I kind of was like in my email. I totally forgot about it, and I was in my email this morning. I got like because I pre-registered. I got a thing being like, you can get a time 90 minutes before anybody else did. So I called Jenna. I was like, "Do you want to do this?" I was very excited when she was like, "Yep." I was like, "Yes, cow tippers."
Have you been to the Quick Stop?
Yeah, I've been to.
Okay.
Yeah, they bought. Kevin Smith bought the RTS video next to it, and he's actually making it into a podcast studio.
Yeah, I've been. I wonder how Mike and Ming think about that.
It's like it. I know. I follow. I became a colleague, not a colleague, but at last Albany Comic-Con, Ernie O'Donnell was there, and he came out and hung out by our booth a lot, the New York City Ghostbusters. There's a photo of me, him wearing my Proton Pack and stuff. Super nice. He accepted my friendship on Facebook, which cool. I was like, that was pretty cool. When you ever get that random real celebrity to accept your friendship on Facebook, it's pretty cool. But there's a whole video. He's actually building the set, and it holds like 50 people. And it's like it can be like a one-man like box theater. I think it's like a black box theater. But you can do podcasts and you can rent it out, and it's going to have all the equipment, all that stuff.
Nice.
So, and it's going to be right next to Quick Stop.
Well, I know Mike and Ming have their shared universe as well.
Yeah, I saw that, by the way, and good for them for trying to be as much as mindful as you can. But I remember when, like, during the pandemic, they were like, "Oh, if you want us on your show for 45 minutes, it was like $200 and some odd dollars." I'm like, dude, like, no, like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can find my friends and colleagues to be on my show for free, and we can have equally in-depth conversation about comic books or entertainment news as you guys did. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I know we are coming up on the hour. Anything else you guys wanted to discuss?
No. What about? I'm good. Like I said, I think it's just the big one thing I can tell people is be smart, keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. I think it's going to. I would not be surprised if it gets a little worse in a couple of months when schools start reopening more and people are just getting laxed, and I watched a great thing
Getting
on
lax?
Some states that are already super lax, some states that aren't like the Northeast has been really good. Like they've been really, really well in this. I think with the onset of flu season coming in, it's going to be very hard to separate the symptoms.
Well,
And
also with like Connecticut, I know Connecticut and New York were two of the
Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey are the three states that are like working together.
Yeah, but I don't know how New Jersey is, but I know Connecticut's been really good with COVID, and obviously New York. But
New York's at 26 straight days with under 1% positive test results.
That's awesome.
Can we just like cancel Black Friday though? I think that.
We'll never have
next.
It will. It's going to be.
Like, it doesn't need to be one day. Like make it
I don't think
sales for like.
I think it's going to be a week. Well, you got to think the majority of the retail places are closed on Thanksgiving. That's good. I give them a round of applause on that. It only took a pandemic for them to actually, treat their employees correctly.
Yeah.
But for me, and I read this and I was talking to my dad about it, and me and Jen had the same conversation. Is Halloween stuff is already in the majority of the stores out there, other than like Target and Walmart starting to have it because they're starting to break down their back to school stuff and they're switching Halloween. Halloween's the second profitable holiday on the calendar year next to Christmas because of the decorations, the costume, the candy, all that stuff. It's the second most profitable holiday. If Halloween sales are low early in the middle of September, going to October, set your watch. You'll see Christmas stuff out beginning of October to jumpstart that Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Because we've also talked
That's gonna
about
be a thing no matter what.
Well, but it's going to be more like, before they'll kind of like sprinkle it in, like, they'll just like, start shrinking down the Halloween stuff in the middle of October. But I'm telling you, like, if sales are slow, watch. It's going to be like Christmas, like full blast. So, for me, it's very much like my head is, me and Jen were talking about it. We're going to talk to the boys and be like, hey, do you want to decorate the apartment? Do you want to decorate outside? Like, we're definitely going to try to go a little bit more full tilt on Halloween, just because we don't know if there's going to be trick or treaters or not. I think there will be, just because it's still, you can incorporate a mask into a costume very easily. So either you have a latex mask and you have a mask over that, or you have like a princess and you can make a princess mask on Etsy or whatever. And candy's individually wrapped, so it's just like take it out of the thing and just like wipe it down when you get home. But I can definitely see that happening regardless, one way or another. Like, I'm just hopeful that people aren't like, we're done with Halloween, like it's just trick. I'd be very, very shocked if towns and cities cancel Halloween or cancel trick or treating, because it's very, very much a socially distant holiday to begin with. Like, other than like, they're going to be like, just don't go in big groups, don't go, don't loiter at people's houses. If you don't feel comfortable, like, don't turn on your light, but like, or put a bowl of candy out and then let whoever wants it want it.
But then on the other hand, you're going to have idiots holding Halloween parties, and
you can't control the idiots.
No, but what I was trying to say was, Yukon had a spike because it's a lot of people from out of state.
Potato?
That's cool. What's that?
The potato?
The potato.
Yeah.
That Yukon had.
Bad, yo-yo, bad.
I know. I'm full of those.
It's allowed. It all depends on what happens next several weeks, with people going back to school.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting times.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yo-yo, where do you like people following you?
6 feet away. Wimmy's phone on Twitter. I'm never doing anything on Twitter. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Also, Yo Saint Laurent on those same channels. And of course, you can find me here. James?
You can find me at Longtime Storm on the tweets and Instagram. I don't really tweet or Instagram that much. Basically, me tweeting is me trying to get free Funkos from Funko. That's kind of the extent of mine.
Wait, you can do that?
Oh yeah, if you follow Funko, a lot of times you can retweet, and they have a lot of like exclusive Funko pops and stuff that you can try to win.
My Twitter is me bitching at companies.
Basically, me too. I've done that. Trust me. I will always thank Jen for telling me to tweet at, what was it called? The Ramada Inn when I was at my friend's wedding in Tennessee, because it was just a craptacular time at that hotel. But anyway, you can follow me, like I said, at Longtime Storm, tweets and Instagram, as well as you can find me here every Wednesday on The Dorkening. But you know what I want you guys to do? I want you to check out It's Go Time with Jay and James, the podcast. This week we're on episode 3, where we break down the AFC in our 3-part NFL preview. Next week is our final episode, where we're going to do our Super Bowl predictions along with some of our awards. Also check out our new segment called Dudes Being Dads, where we just kind of talk about being fathers, and kind of just our natural, us being us. So check it out wherever podcasts are found, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, thedorkening.com. But on tweets and Instagram, just search for It's Go Time with Jay and James. Leo?
Nice. And for me, just follow everybody here, but head on over to thedorkening.com. 30 shows on the network now, which is absolutely insane. We're that's about it for me. Just Google Leo Pond. Could be true, could be not.
There we go.
Bye.
Peace.
Later.